Hey guys, GomuKage here, and the reason being I was sleeping is that's kind of how the episode was this time. I mean, Luffy put it best because he actually fell asleep, and when he was listening to Brownbeard talk, he fell asleep. It kind of reminded me of when he was listening to Jinbei's story, and he didn't really care. Yeah, well, it was boring, but it was really informative. So like it kept you watching the whole time, and there was smoke in Tashigi's body. You know, that always gets your attention a little bit. Yeah, why not? Um, so really, there was only three things that happened during this chapter: G5 talking, Brownbeard talking, and Caesar talking. Ooh, fun. Well, there were some interesting points to it though. The whole episode was a lot like that manga chapter where they built up the whole time to the introducing of like Caesar as a whole, not just that floating gas with the face we saw for a while, like actually Caesar. And I thought they did a really good job of it in the chapter. Like I was like, whoa, this dude, whoa. But I wasn't very happy with like how they introduced Caesar at all. He, because at least the the vibe that I got from Caesar during the manga was this dude who was totally corrupted, evil, uh, maybe like terrorist, massive weapon of destruction, And when he took away the oxygen, that was actually a pretty cool thing, and he was doing all these experiments, kind of like an evil dude, and kind of weird and creepy, but yeah, but gosh, episode 589. They introduced him, and he seems like this freak show, like more of a clown. And if anything, Caesar clown. What a weirdo. I don't know. Yeah, but you get the idea. It wasn't pretty at all. Yeah, it was good to see him, and he totally betrayed his subordinate. That made him evil, but then he just kind of was like a whack job towards the end. And I totally lost coolness points, if you will, for Caesar. Yeah. Oh, another point. If you haven't noticed by now, at this point in the video, I'm using a new webcam because I've heard from other people that my audio quality is bad and the video quality wasn't great either. So I hope this improves. I hope you guys are happy with that. But another point I want to make: Brownbeard is talking, and we get the suckers for a good story. They're crying. Chopper, Frankie, and Brooke. It's a little bit weird because they're in the different bodies, but same people. It's actually funny to see Sanji's body crying over a story like that. Um, well, so it's interesting how we think that Master Caesar is a good guy and Vegapunk isn't. Which, even though Vegapunk I don't think is a really good guy, he's just doing it for the sake of learning and science. At least what I can tell right now. But he's just working for the Marines. That's all. That's all we can tell from now. It was also interesting to see an actual visual of how Punk Hazard used to be before the explosions with all the flamingos. I thought that was funny. The fish, the plants, everything before it blew up. We actually saw the visual of an explosion, which could be foreshadowed to some of the things we might see in the future. Just crazy atomic weapon-ish going down. So cool when you compare it to the beginning of One Piece. Anyways, so we have that conversation, and I thought it was interesting. Zoro's thought, Brownbeard's like, "Oh, you better run if you ever see the dragon." He's like, "We'll remember." And then in his mind, he's like, "We already ate that." But that was funny. We don't get enough funny moments out of Zoro. He's like too silent and mysterious in the New World. I really liked it when he was kind of like, "Oh, wait, what?" Or like getting lost all the time, which is why I'm happy he got lost in Dressrosa, just barely. that'll be good. So he looks for his new sword. That aside, we are talking with G5, and they are kind of bit by bit unfolding the mysteries of the events occurring on Punk Hazard, the disappearances of the kids and the kids they saw, and all of that is going on, and they're kind of coming around to Caesar Clown, giving him a brief background history while introducing him. That was pretty good, but then again, they've just done so much better with other villains introducing them. Oh gosh, Crocodile. Freaking Crocodile. Golden the way they brought him in. There was like 10 episodes straight. He had to call Sanji and just he talked to Robin or Miss Zero, if you will, all Sunday, I think was her name, and just all we saw was this his shadowy of a face, his cigar, big chair. We could tell he's a big intimidating guy. That's all we knew of him for like 10 plus episodes. Yes, all we knew of Caesar for a while now was that he's this pink floating gas. But now that they actually show him, they actually showed Crocodile. He was like, ha ha ha, Vivi, I'm gonna freaking tear Alabasta apart. And he had the means to do it and everything. And he's like, whoa, it's not that Caesar doesn't have the means to do it. He just looks like a whack job now, just all over the place, a legitimate clown. I don't know if that was intentional, and I didn't catch it in the manga, but I'm just not very happy with that right now. So, last thing I guess I could talk about. I mean, I thought about doing a separate discussion video for this, but it's really short. But I noticed it's kind of obvious. Smoker inside Tashigi's body. He's got the shirt open. Yeah, she is all of a sudden on like Boa Hancock level post time skip, and it's like, okay, it kind of happened to everyone, every single woman except Boa Hancock. I don't know if anyone noticed that. Maybe that's a comparison for Oda, like, pre-time skip, she's the most beautiful woman in the world, and to see all these people we know, you know, growing in strength and character, as well as other things along the way, to use that as like a comparison, like the most beautiful woman in the world, Bill Hancock, to do that. But it wasn't just the people we know. Every single woman in the series is like kind of redrawn post time skip, and it's like, what? So I don't understand the no change in Boa Hancock, although it would be a little too ridiculous. But still, let's be consistent here. Oda, and he normally is consistent. I don't know if there's a reason for that or what, but yeah, because back in the day when Zoro and Tashigi were hanging out, and he's like, "Oh, you look just like Kuina," and 100% at this point right now, my feelings that Zoro and Tashigi are gonna get together by the end of One Piece. Tashigi looks just like his childhood friend who ended up dying. They made that promise, to be the strongest swordsman. They're both swordsmen. They've kind of been enemies for a while. They fought back in the day. Tashigi knows her swords, and she's like, "Oh yeah, this isn't that the famous sword Shusui?" And it's funny. But yeah, so after this episode, I'm like, "Oh, Zoro, you lucky man." Well, that's pretty much it for today. This episode, on a scale from 1 to Edward Newgate, gets a Charlie Sheen. Alright, well, actually, last thought. I saw this. There's this dude here. Let me actually show you with my webcam. After, like, the G5 Marines are freaking out that they can't get used to how Tashigi looks in Smoker's body, this one dude, I'll show you, but he has this cap and this tongue that's bigger than, like, the rest of his head. I kid you not. Look at this. Oh, well, yeah, don't use RooTube or else it does that. But still, his tongue is huge, and he's like, jumping up and down. I don't know. Just a weird animation thing, I guess. Bothered me a little bit. I don't know about you guys, but hey, that was episode 589. Looking forward to next week with the crossover with Toriko, Dragon Ball Z, and One Piece. 1 hour special. It's gonna be prime. Well, GomuKage signing out here.